Hi there and welcome to another video. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Today we're going to be looking and doing some position reviews on some photographs that people have sent in. Okay. Excellent. So you see this rider, she says, do you do flat positions as well? Yeah, we do flat positions. So here's a lovely young rider who is working over some trot rails. And what do you think about this, Randy?
Oh, I think like the other horse, they look like beautiful horses. Look at this horse is steady, going comfortably over there. As to her position, as I'm looking at her positions in here, the first thing that I notice is her tendency is to drop her reins. Like if she's doing a rising trot, as she rises, she's dropping her reins, pulling down on the horse's mouth instead of keeping a steady, consistent hand. Can you see that?
Yeah. So you're saying her hands are dropped down?
Oh yeah, and they're going to drop down every time she rises. She's going to push down with her hands.
Yeah, because
she's already started doing it. So that
but where is it coming from? Like,
it's coming from not using her. I would say it's probably a tendency to keep the horse's head down, but usually when this happens, because it looks like she has a secure lower leg, right?
Okay.
Right.
I think what for me, I think that your magic button exercise would be a good place to start with this rider. You know that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
That her kneecap is pointed forward.
Pointed out. Look at it closer. I've got to make it less.
So her kneecap is pointed out. Yeah. So she needs to have, instead of having her kneecap go this way, she needs to stretch and have it come down more that way. You know, your magic button exercise, right?
I love the magic button exercise.
And what I would do first is, she can do this if she's listening, is if you take the rider, if she took her right hand to the back of her thigh and put it underneath between her thigh and her saddle and brought that muscle back, it would make her thigh flat, which would bring her knee into a better position. Then she can bring her knee down and back, because as you can see from this photo, she's using her heel to make the horse go forward instead of her leg.
Yeah, she's using this part, right? The back of her leg.
Well, they're down even lower to the heel.
Yeah, she's using her
Oh, right here.
Yeah, right
there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's normal. This is what most of our riders do. So there's nothing abnormal about any of the positions that we're seeing today. We're just picking them apart and saying what we'd like to see.
That's why they send them in, right?
Yep.
So I think what I would do with this rider, first thing is get her to, check her stirrup length. And tell me, what do you think about the saddle? Do you think the saddle's helping her?
The saddle may be a little small. And again, we don't know if it's her saddle or a lesson horse, or I think everything. I think the knee, the button, the magic button. I think that she's riding on the back of her thigh and the back of her calf instead of up on the front of her thigh and the front of her calf, which would relax everything. She does have her heel down as she's using it, and she appears to be a little stiff. So I'm thinking kind of a beginner intermediate rider, maybe.
I think so. I think you're right.
And then just stiff hands, and she just needs to relax a little bit and check her saddle. If it's a lesson horse, talk to your trainer and ask if there's a saddle that can fit better. If it's your saddle, some birthday, Christmas, something's going to be coming soon, and you can maybe get another saddle. It's easy to sell saddles. Saddles are easy to sell and they're easy to buy. So it's a matter of this picture in this particular time. She does look like she's
quite mechanical, right?
Yeah, she's in the middle though, and she's going right over the poles. And she, as Randy said, when she stands up, she probably pushes down. Hands are flat.
If they want to share their photos with us, they're welcome to. They just send an email to thistleridge@hotmail.com and we will get something on here.
Now, how can we fix that? That's what we wanted to do, is give her.
So I think one of the first things that I would do is if I had this student as one of my riders, I would take her feet out of the stirrups and pull her leg back this way so that it does exactly what Randy was saying, gets that muscle, that thigh muscle kind of moved back, so her lower leg's underneath her more.
Instead of her thigh being out. We call it
Instead of being your thigh being out,
position.
yeah. It's kind of like a chair seat. I mean, if you do the classic, she's in 3-point position, she's not in 2-point position, but if you go, ear, shoulder, hip, heel, it's not too bad. Although, let's just try that again. Like, there's her hip, there's her shoulder.
She's not over her lower
She's in
leg.
front of, yeah, she's not over her lower leg at all because her
not
lower
over
leg
her
got
lower
in
leg.
front of her. Check the stirrup length.
Yeah. Now, the stirrup length, top of the stirrup tread, bottom of the ankle bone, approximately.
And sometimes people's conformation doesn't allow that to work well, so you have to
Yeah.
play with it a little bit, but it stays within that range for 99 9/10 of the people of the world. Make sure the stirrups are even, and then relax and think about, so one exercise for her hands would be, the knuckles should be heading towards the opposite ear. So your right hand knuckles should head towards the left ear, and your left knuckles should head towards the right ear. And it puts your hands in the right position. And then I like it just in front of the withers, about 5 inches apart. That can change. So, but I do like the fact that she's in the middle. I do like the fact that she is looking up. Very little changes. And Randy, describe your button thing, so that, because I think the button.
Yeah, that's such
great on this
huge.
one.
That's such a great exercise. Yeah,
It is. It is a great exercise. So the magic button is just a simple technique that instructors can use, or those who are working with their own horses. It teaches you to become a thinking rider because you can adjust your leg position on your own. And the easiest way to feel it is, most of us are sitting sitting in a chair right now. Just get yourself so your feet are flat. Okay, so as you've got your feet flat on the floor, you feel those, right? Okay, now find a spot above your knee, one on either side, it doesn't matter. We're going to start with one leg, and you're going to draw a circle that's about 4 inches across on the top of your knee, on the thigh bone, a little behind the top of the knee. Draw that there. Everybody, what's your favorite color?
blue.
Purple.
Okay, whatever your favorite color is, you're going to make that purple or blue or a red button, right? You feel that button? Touch it to make sure you can feel it. Okay, now press on the button and press forward like you're pressing towards the front of your foot. Can you feel where it puts the weight on your foot? It puts it towards the front?
Yep.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Now press it to the back, and you'll feel that it puts the pressure towards the back of your heel. You feel that?
Ah, cool.
Now, when you're on a horse, what'll happen is it'll create a spring reaction that starts. You're gonna feel it first in your knee, but it'll stretch out your thigh, your knee, and get you into your ankles. When you press on that magic button, what it does is it puts the spring back into your riding position. And as a result, it actually puts the rider position in the right place. So you do it on both sides, on both of your legs, but it's an easy exercise to use, and it gets to where at first you'll press the button or have somebody press it for you, just so you get the memory in your body of what you want to do. And then you can just think magic button, because once you get the feeling, your leg position will never be the same, because it'll wrap your leg around the horse in ways that will improve the efficiency of your riding position.
It's one of the few exercises that works on very beginner through very advanced.
Right.
It's something
it's a great exercise, and I learned it from
simple.
someone else that Randy taught. So a professional from Palm Beach who's no longer with us, Margie Huff, taught it to me, and it turned out that Randy taught it to Margie. So it's fun. Yeah, it's fun that these things are going on, because it's a great exercise. Yep.
Yeah. So we talked about, we have a comment here. Allison, thank you for watching, Allison. This happens to be my sister. I was taught to hold the reins as if you're reading a book. Is that right? So I
Sure.
think if you're reading a book,
Your knuckles are going the opposite. Yeah. I mean, I'm just holding my hands. I don't have a book in front of me.
I would prefer instead of a book, because a book gets you to keep your thumbs, everything flat there, is pick up a pencil or something and put your finger around the pencil, and then all you have to do is on the top of the reins, as everybody was saying, it should point towards the opposite ear, but your thumb should be across the top of the reins. That's what keeps the reins from sliding, pointed towards the opposite ear.
Right.
So close your fingers around the reins with your thumb on top and pointed towards the horse's opposite ear. And it should be a straight line that'll go from the rider's elbow right through their hand to the opposite ear. It's not because the rider's doing this or anything like this. It's the straight line that starts here and goes all the way through.
I mean, and if you want to get nitpicky about that too, it was, parallel to the horse's shoulders and
Right.
We wouldn't get nitpicky, would we?
how to check if your saddle's the right size. We were just
You should be able to, sitting in the middle of the saddle, you should be able to take your hand and put it behind your seat, and it should fit between the back of your body and the top of the cantle.
Right.
For the seat.
Fingers.
Yeah, just your hand, just the four fingers, and it should fit there. And I don't see that space here. Randy, talk about the skirt. Talk about the flap.
saddle flap. How do you know if the saddle flap is big enough?
Skirt.
Well,
And
I'm always a believer in getting a professional out to adjust the saddles for the horses and the riders. To me, when I look at the saddle, it doesn't look like her leg is in it correctly on the top, the
Yeah.
thigh, because it's over
Right.
the top of the saddle. Like Patty was saying, she might have outgrown the saddle because she's a young lady. So it might just be in the last year she had a growth spurt, and all of a sudden she's not fitting the saddle like she thinks she does. Because
Right, and when you, as an instructor, those things kind of creep up on
Right,
yeah.
it's kind of like having a kid and they come down in a dress that fit them
Right.
2 weeks ago, and now it doesn't fit them quite right.
Exactly.
So as they grow up and we all mature, there are times that you have to change that saddle a little bit.
That's right. And she could open her knees, and her thighs would slide down more over the saddle. But like Patty says, that saddle just doesn't look. It looks like it's at the edge of being in the wrong
Being
side.
too small, yeah.
yes, thank you so much.